Hello and welcome back to my channel, Woke Witch Tarot. If you are returning, I am so grateful to see you again. And if you are new to the channel, then welcome. I hope that you find it cozy, that you find it to be a place that you want to stick around in. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of an unboxing and review of the Kim Cran's The Wild Unknown Archetypes Deck and Guidebook. If tarot deck reviews are not for you, please don't worry. I will have another awesome pick-a-card reading available on Sunday, and it will be back to our regularly scheduled program. I always find it interesting when different readers give their thoughts on the pros and cons of different decks, and who it is that might benefit from them. And this was such a highly anticipated deck that I thought, why not do a little review and give my honest thoughts about the deck for those that are thinking of purchasing it, and do a little bit of a giveaway as well. So if you are looking for information on the giveaway, it is open right now up until Christmas morning. I will be picking a winner on Christmas morning, and I'm thinking that I will announce it in the afternoon. I thought it might be a bit much if people are spending time with their families in the morning, and I don't know, people probably have better things to do than check up on a tarot deck giveaway. So probably sometime in the afternoon on Christmas Day, I will go ahead and announce the winner over on my Instagram at Woke Witch Tarot. So if you're interested in that, just subscribe to the channel and I will have a randomizer pick a subscriber from the subscriber list. Good luck if you are interested in the giveaway. If you don't end up winning the giveaway, please don't despair. I'm going to be doing a ton of these on my channel once every week to 2 weeks. So there's always going to be giveaways here. If you don't win this deck, then you might win another one, okay? Let me know down in the comments if you like these kinds of videos and if you'd like to see more reviews in the future. Just a quick disclaimer, in no way is something that I've listed as a pro or a con meant to induce you or disparage you from buying the deck. Tarot is such an incredibly personal thing, so suffice to say, what works for me might not be something that works for you and vice versa. I'm going to try to go into really great detail on this deck, including showing you every single card, yes, every single card at the end. So if there's something specific that you want to know and you want to jump around to different sections of the video, I've included a legend with timestamps on the left, as you can probably already see somewhere over here, and I'll include the timestamps in the comment section as well. Last but not least, I'm in no way affiliated with this company or whoever it is that made this deck. No one is paying me to make this video, and this review isn't sponsored. If you like the deck and you're interested in it, I have placed a link down in the description below on where I got it off of Amazon. With all of that out of the way, let's jump into the review. So the Wild Unknown Archetype Deck and Guidebook is a follow-up to a pretty popular tarot card creator by the name of Kim Cran's. For those of you that don't know, she is the one that makes the Wild Unknown Tarot, and I believe that she illustrates every single one of her decks as well, which is incredible. They all have a very unique art style, and they all come in these very beautiful packages with an in-depth guidebook and usually with a container of some sort that holds the deck itself. So obviously Kim does an excellent job at not just making her decks artistic, but also in shipping them in a way where you feel like you get a quality product. I actually purchased this deck on Amazon, and it did include Amazon Prime shipping. This is a deck that came out in October 15th. And when I originally purchased the deck, I believe it was $24.99. I think it came within a day, if I'm not mistaken. And if you're not a Prime member, then I believe Amazon will do free shipping over $25. So you would have to add an item that literally costs 1 penny in order to get the free shipping. So on the back of the package it states, "Welcome to the Wild Unknown Archetypes. You will find within 78 circular cards in a round box, lavishly illustrated 224-page guidebook. From the wellspring of the collective unconscious emerge images that appear in the dreams of every culture, illuminating our multiplicity and uniting us in the endless story of humanity. These are archetypes. Their limitless potential is yours to behold as you travel to the realm of dreams, visions, and myth. May you always be on the inner quest. The box itself is 6 inches by 6 inches, and the thickness or the depth is just shy of 3 inches. So it's a pretty weighty box. I was actually surprised at how heavy the box felt. And it was shrink wrapped in this plastic shrink wrap so that to try to ensure that the box didn't get banged around too much while it was on its way to being delivered to me. So on the box itself, you have this beautiful imagery that is very similar to the artwork that is inside of the deck. So yeah, the deck is not the least expensive deck, but I feel like for a deck, a guidebook, and this really nice box, you're definitely getting your money's worth, considering that some decks, just for a box with the deck in it alone, just a sleeve with the deck, you're going to be paying the same amount of money. So it's pretty cost effective. The box is of a really good quality. It's got this beautiful sleeve on it. The main interior box slides out and it has a magnetic clasp that holds the box together. Really thick construction and something that is artfully done, so if you feel like displaying this out on a coffee table, you can. It looks very, very beautiful. I always find boxes and packaging like this, while it looks beautiful, and of course, you can use the boxes for all kinds of different things. Sometimes it gets a little bit annoying if you use decks as often as I do to get decks in and out if you keep them all in their original material. But you can always get a tarot bag or something to keep them in if you don't want to keep going through the hassle of taking it out of the sleeve, taking it out of the magnetic box, and then taking it out of the circular box that the actual cards come in. So let's get to what is in it. Obviously, we have the box, we have this circular box, which has the cards inside of it, and then we have the guidebook. Let's start with the book first. So right off the bat, the book itself has this beautiful imagery that repeats from the main box onto the book. So you could display the book on its own as well. It's got a beautiful semi-gloss smooth finish on the front and the back cover that stretches over the binding as well. Inside, you have a black and white illustration of all of the cards, as well as a page dedicated to a description of the card. I always love these particular books because they obviously give you some introduction to the person that created it, to how to use the tarot or oracle cards for your daily practice, and then also a couple of sample spreads that you could do as a beginner in order to learn how the tarot works if you are not experienced with it. There are a few colored pages inside, but for the most part, but that's just the page color. For the most part, you're not getting like a full colored gloss book, and that's okay. Sometimes, although it can look really nice, it can get a little bit excessive when they print the booklets in full color. The paper quality is really nice. It feels almost like a thick aged parchment paper, and obviously the artwork of the cards shows really well. If I could do something differently here, I would definitely recommend changing the font. I know it's such a small thing, but for people that are visually impaired like I am and have to wear glasses or contact lenses, having crazy fonts inside your booklets, although they might look pretty, it just makes it difficult for people to read. And I do appreciate that the table of contents inside the actual book has the cards numbered. Now moving on to the box with the deck itself, this is a really beautiful box. I do think that the box itself is really cool, and then you have your cards inside. So holding the cards themselves, I have to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised with how big they are. Because I have bigger fingers, longer hands, I kind of appreciate this. The thickness is very similar to a Rider-Waite card, except that the bendability, the flexibility of the card, it has a lot more of a snapback to it, which I like because the Rider-Waite deck can feel a little bit jello-y and flimsy. They bend easily, so these cards have a lot of really good snapback. I'm going to go ahead and put this next to not just a Rider-Waite card, but also the Wild Unknown Tarot card so that you can get an idea of the sizing of this particular card when you compare it to these others. Personally, I'm not crazy about the diamond pattern on the back of the cards or on the box. The concept might have been great in the head, but I just don't think the execution looks that great. It just looks like a bunch of blobs of different colors on the back of the card. And one thing that I do notice is on the edges, some of the edges of these cards are a little bit frayed. I would imagine that it's because they're circular, they're a lot more difficult to cut, which isn't a problem, except that when you see decks that have these edges that snag like this, there's a higher likelihood that you'll get paper cuts when you're shuffling the decks. So keep that in mind if that's something that you're concerned about. The deck itself is about 4.5 inches in diameter each card, and the entire stack is about 1.5 inches thick. So the colors on the cards themselves are incredibly vibrant, and it already appeals to me because I love color in my life, and the color really does come through well. So what it lacks with the diamond pattern on the back, it absolutely makes up for on the beautiful imagery on the front of the card, which obviously is what matters the most. It's a matte finish on the cards, so it provides a little bit of slip without being so slippery that the cards fall out of your hand at the same time when you're shuffling them. The paper quality is really good quality, and like I said, it's got really good bend on it, so when you're trying to shuffle, it's not too stiff and it's not so malleable that the second that you bend the card, it ends up permanently bent that way. So obviously, this deck is not going to be based off of a traditional tarot. So if you're looking for a deck that will give you traditional tarot meanings, then obviously this deck is not going to be for you. I would recommend starting with something like the Rider-Waite deck, which I will also link down in the description below. The colors are deep. The printing, it doesn't feel like it comes off easily. It's a solidly printed card, and the artwork looks beautiful. The kind of energy that I get from this deck is obviously one of hope. I feel like if you are a creative, this is an incredibly powerful deck for you. The imagery will definitely move you. And if you're looking to start with a deck, but you don't necessarily care about going with a traditional deck, you just kind of want something to check in on your energy every single day, and this would also be a really great deck. Pull a card, take a look at the meaning in the guidebook, and go from there. So I would absolutely recommend this deck, short of a couple of few things like the font in the book and the diamond design on the card and a couple of little bits of fraying on the edges where the cards were cut. I really cannot find anything bad about these cards. Again, the artwork is just incredible. You can tell that the creator not just put a lot of time and heart into the meaning of each card and into the production of them, into the creation of the artwork, because these are all handmade artworks, but they also put a lot of love into the packaging as well. And when you buy something, whether you have a lot of money or very little, you want to know that you are buying something that someone loved. They put a lot of love into, especially when you're working with energy. You don't want something that was cheaply made just to make a couple of quick bucks. This is a deck that definitely speaks to the creator's love of tarot. I am so glad that I purchased this deck, and I'm glad that I got an extra one for anybody that is looking to get one for Christmas. If you have any questions about this deck, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I try to get back to everyone. And if you like this video and you feel like giving it a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. It really helps the channel. I thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful holiday season, and I will see you in the next video. Bye. So here are all the cards that are in the deck. And here are just a couple of the cards that really stood out to me. They're all beautiful, but these just caught my attention right away, so I thought I would show you an even closer view of these in particular. That's all of them. Thanks again for watching. I will see you tomorrow for a pick a card video for what you can expect in the year of 2020.